Hello, everybody. I'm Jeremy Crosby from Talking Fitchburg. Today, we're taking some time out to talk about some of the great work that's happening behind the scenes here in the city of Fitchburg with our businesses. That's right. There's businesses here in the city of Fitchburg that are helping out with the COVID-19 pandemic. And as part of that, we're going to check in with some of those businesses from the small to the big. We've got some great companies here. And today we're focusing on one that we've visited a few times, and not just for fun, but also to learn about all the great things they're doing. We're checking in with Yahara Bay Distillers as they're helping make hand sanitizer. Take a look.
So we about a year ago we came out with a product called Just Vodka, and we we had a sort of a purpose for it for promotions and stuff, and it wasn't something we were trying to build a brand on. But when this pandemic kicked off, we realized, oh my gosh, people need high proof vodka, and so because Just Vodka wasn't a brand that we had built, we just thought like, well, let's throw this out there. Let's just bump up the proof, and it worked. The name just kind of works for what we're using it for too, and it's kind of fun that way. But so then what we did, we started with high proof vodka because that was before the TTB said we were allowed to make hand sanitizer, and the FDA came out with guidelines and such. And when they did that, we pivoted and we ordered supplies, and we thought, well, what are we going to call it? Well, might as well just call it just hand sanitizer. And so it's not vodka, it's just hand sanitizer now. So who knows what's next?
Right? So take us through the process, because for me, it's like I realize that, obviously the alcohol is a big component of this, but what changes are you making? I mean, I'm not asking for the recipe by any means, but is there a lot of change to this, or is this just taking something and if you kind of walk us through it?
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, the recipe is public information. We're going by the World Health Organization guidelines, and it is basically the final solution is 80% ethyl alcohol. The other ingredients are glycerin and hydrogen peroxide, and the formulation ultimately is about approximately 84% high proof, 190 proof alcohol, and then it's between the other two ingredients is just about 5%, and the lowest in percent as percent volume is the glycerin, which I thought would be higher because when you pump out some Purell, it's like gel, right? And it's
Exactly.
The stuff we're bottling, which is the FDA and World Health Organization formula, is actually really thin. But when you put some on your hands and you use it, you can definitely feel that glycerin in there as like a moisturizer. So we were all really impressed with how thin it was, and ultimately how easy it is to bottle. That was a concern for us because we're used to bottling spirits, and our equipment is not designed for gel, right? And so we were like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get this in bottles? And luckily, it really is a very thin product, and so it's been pretty easy to pivot and start producing this. And we have now produced over 10,000 liters, and we are going as fast as we can to get more alcohol. We've got suppliers that work with and have always worked with, and they've been great. We are buying more than we ever have before, but they know that everyone is, and so they're doing everything they can to get it to us as quick as we can. The other ingredients, the glycerin and the hydrogen peroxide, aren't very difficult to get our hands on because they're such a small piece of the formula. But yeah, ultimately it was a pretty easy shift. We produce a lot of products that require blending of different ingredients. We do a lot of liqueurs, we do ready-made cocktails like the old-fashioned, and we do this for clients too. We produce a lot of different products, and so blending ingredients is not something new to us. So yeah, it's been a pretty easy shift as far as production goes. It's pretty crazy the volume that is being sought and demanded. We can't produce it fast enough, and we're doing everything we can to get as much done. But yeah, obviously everyone needs it and everyone's out. So We're doing
Right.
what we can.
Uh, Nels, walk me through when the National Guard pulled up with their huge trucks and you guys are loading up this stuff. I mean, what's the feeling there as that takes place?
So I spent 8 years active duty in the Marine Corps. So, and that was like a lifetime ago. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007. I have fond memories. I had a great time. But when I learned from the Department of Administration that they were going to send the National Guard with trucks to pick this stuff up because they had a logistics issue, they didn't know how they were going to get it out to everybody. I got a kick out of it because it brought me back to the old days in the Marine Corps, and so we got great photos, and we all got a kick out of it. But it is sort of surreal, right, to have the National Guard coming to pick something up. It really emphasizes and punctuates that we really are in such an emergency situation, and it punctuates how important this work is. And I keep reminding everyone here that stay healthy, stay safe, but what you're doing really matters, and it is contributing to the saving of lives and keeping people safe during this time and helping flatten that curve. And so we're really proud that we have the ability to do this, and because we have the ability, we're going to continue doing it so long as we can.
Yeah, again, thank you for your time in the military, certainly, but
Right.
also thank you for from everybody, not only from residents of City of Fitchburg, but from for everybody. Do you know how far your product is getting out? Is it getting past Wisconsin, or is it just in this area? Do you know where the stuff is going?
Right now, my understanding is it's just in Wisconsin. We have a lot of small distilleries, craft distilleries that are doing just like we are. They're pivoting and producing whatever volume they're capable of. And because of that, I mean, there are a couple thousand craft distilleries across the nation, and I don't know how many of them have pivoted to hand sanitizer or solutions of sanitizing properties, but I know a great number of them are, and so we feel like we're doing our part in our neighborhood, our community, and our state, and we also feel confident that the other distilleries that we know across the country are doing their part in their neighborhoods. Um, and we're also banding together. We're all communicating. We're helping each other find resources, and that's something that is fun to take part in. And and to see that the industry kind of pulls together in a time like this.
Absolutely. It's amazing what you guys are doing, and certainly glad that you're here in the city of Fitchburg, and you guys have done a lot of great community work as it is leading up to this. This isn't anything new for you guys. You have been so involved in so many events, bringing people down into the corridor with the construction. But I've got to say, Nels, that this is just an incredible thing that you guys are doing. And, thank you from everybody, from the residents of Fitchburg to anybody who's receiving it. Folks are in the city here, if they want to stop by and visit you and check in and see if the next batch is ready. I don't know if that's even a possibility, but is that something that you would accept?
Yeah, they can certainly give us a call, 608-275-1050, and check and see if we have any available. We do have some available now. We are bottling tonight. We'll be bottling in the morning and into the night tomorrow. And as ingredients arrive, we'll just be bottling and producing. And so we're making it as fast as we can, and we will continue to allocate some of our production to our retail shop so that people can come and purchase a couple bottles for their home or their small business if they are also essential workers. And so we'll continue to make that available. Uh, of course, we also have our spirits products that, we'd love to have them come and grab some of that while they're at home, and quarantined and have a cocktail. But we do have it available. They can also email info@yaharabay.com. And we're putting together a list. We are prioritizing healthcare, also similar to healthcare, things like nursing homes, hospice, these sorts of things, and supporting healthcare organizations, and then also first responders and EMS, police, fire, and so we're prioritizing them, but we're doing everything we can to make it available to as many people as we can. So definitely check in with us and see what we can do. We'll get you on the list, and then we will contact you when it is available.
That's awesome. I know that you guys have priorities, but if any of the residents can take advantage of coming down and checking it out, take advantage. Nels, thank you so much for the time. Hopefully, if you let us, we'll check back in with you a little bit later, see how things are going. And thank you again to you and your staff for everything you're doing to help during this crisis.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for checking in.
All right, there you have it. Nels and his staff doing some great work there. We look forward to checking back in with him as he continues to fill the need with hand sanitizer. And again, as I mentioned before, we look forward to sharing more stories of the great work the businesses are doing right in our backyard here in the city of Fitchburg.